Hi Tennis. So of the work that I have seen from Wednesday, we did seem to get on really well with that, so I'm very pleased. Now, here's what I want you to see. Did you notice the relationship between the gradients that you were calculating and the equation of the line? So I'm going to look through these here, right? So see the line there. I'm going to work from left to right the way they're labeled, right? So the line y equals 2x. Did you notice that the gradient of it was 2? Notice anything there? Let's look at the line y equals x. Did you notice that the gradient was 1? And that's the same as something else in that equation. The line y equals a half x. The gradient was a half. I was starting to see a wee pattern here. Let's look at some more. So with these ones, I'm going to work down the way. So y equals 2/3 x. You can probably guess the gradient is 2/3. Y equals 1/3 x. You should have got the gradient to be 1/3. Y equals 1/4 x. You guessed it, the gradient is 1/4. Okay, with these ones I'm going to go left to right. So the line y equals minus a half x. No prizes for guessing the gradient. Minus a half. The line, sorry, I'm just laughing at how cheesy I'm being. The line y equals minus x. You should have got the gradient of -1. And then the line y equals minus 2x. Surprise, surprise. The gradient worked out to be -2. Right, and then these last ones. Y equals minus 1/4 x. The gradient's -1/4. Y equals minus 1/3 x. The gradient is -1/3. Y equals minus 2/3 x. The gradient is -2/3. So if you didn't pick up on that whenever you were doing the work, maybe some of you did, hopefully you have by now, that with the equation of a line, the number that goes in front of the x term is the gradient. So that number tells you how steep a line or a graph is going to be. So it is so clever. I absolutely love straight line graphs. Okay, I'm hoping that you will eventually too. So just to reiterate that, the number that goes in front of the x term is the gradient of the graph. So if your number in front of the x term, let me go back to some positive ones actually to prove this point. So let's look at these ones. So see, even without drawing the graphs, if you told me, right, I'm going to draw the graphs of y equals a half x, y equals x, and y equals 2x, I would be able to tell you straight away that the y equals 2x is going to be the steepest and the y equals a half x is going to be the least steep. And it's just because of that sneaky wee rule that the number in front of the x term tells you the gradient of the graph. Isn't that clever? Right, let's look at what I want you to do today then. So open your notes at page 58 for me, please. So this was the question that we were doing last day. I've basically answered this for you. Let me get a pen actually and write it in. So in question 1, what relationship is there between the gradient of each line and its equation? The gradient, write this in for me please, is equal to the number in front of x. And remember, that does take account whether it's a negative or not, right? So if it is like y equals minus 15x plus 7, your gradient will be minus 15. If it is y equals 12x minus 4, your gradient will be 12. Okay, so what I need you to do for me today is question 3. Use this table, use these x terms, and figure out the y coordinates. So that's going back a couple of lessons now. So you substitute in for x. So for this here, I'll just get you started actually. So whenever x is -3, you'll do y equals 2.5x. So y is 2.5 times -3. See what you get and put that in there. And then do the same thing for whenever x is 0, you substitute in 0 for x. And whenever x is 4, substitute in 4 for x. Okay? Then draw the graph of that. Then it's asking you to choose your own pair of points to find the gradient of the line. How does the value of the gradient compare with the equation of this line? Now, if you've picked up on the little rule, then you can just go straight to writing down the gradient. Okay, I do want you to draw the graph, but you can just go straight to writing down the gradient. Same again there in question 4. So this time our graph is y equals 0.5x, and you can do these on the same set of axes, that's fine. And again, just state the gradient. So question 5, find the gradient of these lines. You do not have to draw the graph. You need to use the wee sneaky rule. All you'll be writing down there is just y equals 5x, gradient equals, and then say what it is. Now, let's look at question 6. Rearrange these equations so that it is in the form y equals, and then determine the gradient. So questions will be sneaky like this sometimes, so I'll get you started. I'm probably going to end up telling you the answer to A here. So for part A, we've got the line 3y equals minus x, but see that wee sneaky rule I was talking about where the number in front of the x term is the gradient? That only works if your equation is in the form y equals so many x. If you have a number in front of the y, then that rule doesn't work anymore. So you have to make it be the case where you don't have a number in front of the y. So this is where we use our algebra skills of rearranging equations. If we want to get y on its own, what do we have to do? Divide both sides by 3. So that's what you'll do. Divide both sides by 3. Which will give you y equals, now minus x divided by 3 is like minus 1x divided by 3. So I would write that as minus a third x. Now we're able to tell what the gradient is. I'm not telling you, I've done enough for you. Okay, and then do the same for 6 part B. Now look over at page 59 for me please. This is another exercise that I want us to do. So in these questions you're given 2 equations of lines. So in this one you've got y equals 5x and y equals a fifth x. Now you just have to state which line is the steeper. I'm not going to get you to sketch both lines, right? Because I think that'll take forever, and I think we're good at sketching our graphs. So count yourselves lucky. So for these questions, all you have to do is state which line is steeper. Now, be careful. Are there any that need rearranged? No, there's not. We don't have to do any rearranging there. So in these ones, you'll be writing down question 1, write down whatever it is steeper. Okay? Hopefully that is clear enough. And if you've got any questions, obviously, give me a wee shout, ask me. Okay, that's me. Nice wee short one today. Bye.